What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Rocco's Wrestling Podcast, and today we have a very special guest for you today. So, I recently did a poll and a bracket on my Rocco's_Wrestling Twitter account, and it was won by my special guest today. So all you can do is just introduce yourself, and we'll just get started.
Hey everyone, this is Kat. My handle on Twitter is @TXSPORTSQUEEN.
Okay, so we're going to start this off really basic because, just like everybody here listening, I also want to get to know you very well. So the first question I have for you is, when did you start getting into professional wrestling?
It would be the summer of 2005. I have 12 nieces and nephews, and my eldest nephew, who was around 9 or 10 at the time, he came and spent the weekend with me, and he had a tape of a wrestling event that he wanted to watch, and I was like, all right, nonchalant. I was like, well, sure, go ahead. It turned out to be Vengeance from 2005, and with the main event being Batista and Triple H in the Hell in a Cell match.
Wow.
And throughout the match or throughout the show, I'm like going, what am I watching here? And later on in the week, I caught Raw on TV, I caught SmackDown, and it got me a little bit more intrigued and everything, and it kind of snowballed from there, and it was something that my nephew and I clicked on. We had something in common, and we ended up going to the major wrestling events together, and we actually hit some spots throughout Texas. We went to Dallas, we've been to San Antonio to see stuff, and it's still a bond that keeps us together today.
Wow, that's really interesting because now that you actually mentioned Vengeance and everything like that, and it's crazy because that was actually a great match. I was blown away, and I started watching wrestling back in 2000, so I started maybe 2001, so my first introduction was to Jeff Hardy and the Dudley Boys and stuff like that. So yeah, my aunt actually got me into it, so we're basically on the same wavelength. Somebody else put us onto wrestling, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
So the second question I have is I don't know if you could narrow it down, so if you really can't, your top 3 would be great. What's your favorite match of all time and why?
Let me see. Matches of all time, these are really no particular order.
Okay.
The first one I would say would be the Hell in a Cell with Batista and Triple H, because it's the first main event I saw, and it kind of gave me the introduction to as far as how the lengths that these superstars will definitely go.
Mm-hmm.
The second one would be the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match in 2018. It was a match long time coming.
Yeah.
And with that particular moment, it brought everyone back together. The superstars from the past, the present, the future, with the NXT superstars getting a chance to come into it. And then the third one, it's going to be another women's match. I would say Hell in a Cell with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks.
Great match.
Those two tore the house down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that should have actually been the main event that night. And for that to start, the pay-per-view kind of tumbled down from there, because that was the match of the night, and it started the show.
Yeah,
and
it basically everything after that snowballed after that, and I agree with you. That definitely should have been the main event, especially of what they did give us. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of breaks my heart a little bit that Sasha lost. But I mean, I can understand as far as how they were still trying to escalate Becky even more and everything.
Yep.
But it also did put Sasha over as well and everything, as far as how what she can do. And it's kind of crazy that she was actually in both of the women's Hell in a Cell matches, and she ended up losing both of them. So.
Yeah, I know. It was. I also agree with you with the women's Royal Rumble. It was very long overdue. And I just thought it was great. It was about time, and the fact I believe they main evented that first one, right?
Yeah, they did.
It was actually really good. And then like you said, just the nostalgia with the Batista and Triple H. That's 3 great matches that I personally agree with. Also, they were very good.
Yeah.
So now this is gonna be now I'm actually not familiar. Do you watch any other professional wrestling besides WWE?
The only other one that I really do dabble in is AEW,
Okay.
and it kind of intrigued me over the building up to when it started being on primetime television. I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't get a chance to watch too much of it, like on the pay-per-views, maybe like a little bit here on YouTube and everything. But once it started on national TV, and I was able to get into it a little bit more and more and everything. So that, if besides WWE and NXT, that's really the only other one that I watch.
Okay, so this would actually be a perfect question for you then. So, in your own personal thoughts, what are your thoughts on the current product and the state of WWE right now?
Overall, during the recent weeks and everything with the pandemic going on,
Mm-hmm.
they've had to face some uncharted territory. But I do see that they've made some strides as far as with what they've been able to do at the performance center. And the two biggest things that I've come out of it, because of there being no audience and everything, it's like you get to hear all the trash talk that you never really hear and everything.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing ever since they've been in the performance center, the promos.
Yeah.
The promos have been killer. They've been spot on. My only concern is that of them keeping this level up after everything's kind of died down and they're able to have performances in front of fans again.
Yeah.
Overall, let me see. Of course, the standard from WWE and everything is NXT. They've still been killing it every week. I do see Raw making strides going forward with their matchups, their programming, and everything like that. I do believe that on SmackDown they do need to kind of shake it up a little bit more, and that was one of the things that with Bliss and Cross winning the women's tag team titles and everything,
yes.
That kind of that definitely did do a little bit of a shake up and everything, and that's going to bring the titles more to SmackDown, and so they do need to kind of shake things up a little bit more over there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. The promos have been honestly phenomenal recently, and just like you, I'm also kind of nervous that after WrestleMania, I'm not sure if they'll be able to keep this up because it seems to me that a lot of the WrestleMania buildup is going to start dying down. After tonight, I don't know if they're going to continue the Edge and Randy Orton feud that's going on, but the Edge promos have been great. Kevin Owens, the promo that he did on Raw was amazing. I also see that NXT is always been what it was. It's been amazing, and then now that it's competing with AEW, I feel like both companies are just going to keep striving. Also, I want to agree with what you said about SmackDown. Now, SmackDown, even though it went to Fox, it's very weird to me because I don't know. It's come to a point where I actually look forward to AEW, Raw, and NXT, and then SmackDown's on the back burner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just it sucks. I don't think that's what they honestly planned for, and the fact that they ended up losing Brock, I think that took a big toll on them.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely don't have any heavy hitter players on SmackDown and everything.
Yep.
I mean, because Roman backed out of WrestleMania, the really only other clear choice to give a Universal title shot to was Braun Strowman, and I really knew. We said this, and we kind of agreed on this on the podcast that I normally do, that I knew Goldberg wasn't leaving last night with the title either way.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering how this is going to go forward from here after everything goes back to normal. They definitely need to do a draft. They definitely need to do a shakeup of some sort and get these heavy hitter players, the ones that can handle the main event spots, back on SmackDown and everything. You got to balance that somehow. Definitely,
100%. And I truly feel that them sending AJ back to Raw was a big mistake. Just because honestly, when they had AJ, the first draft back in 2016, that was the best time for SmackDown. They had honestly that was that was the A show for a little while. They had AJ, Dean, Cena when he was there. And then ever since then it's slowly going down, which sucks because SmackDown's always been underrated, and then right when it goes to the top, unfortunately, it gets taken back down. I don't know about you, but I love Roman Reigns, but I don't know if I want to see another Roman Reigns Braun Strowman rivalry for the Universal title. I'm not sure if that's something that I would book, even though they do have some pretty decent matches. I kind of want to see something fresh and new. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, whenever it does come back to that and everything, if they do, I mean, they are going to have to do like a quick story with those two and everything, because I know that the title's going to go to Roman eventually.
Eventually,
and
yes.
So when that comes back into play and everything, whatever they do, I know it's probably going to be quick.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to last maybe two pay-per-views, maybe.
Yeah,
something small. Maybe I think they'll ride it out until SummerSlam, and that'll be the big blow off.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give us a Roman, Braun, and Goldberg triple threat. I don't know if I want to look forward to that, but.
Oh no! I wouldn't be too interested in that.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, when Goldberg had the match with the Fiend and everything, and they said, "Oh, he won with a jackhammer," and I was like going, Fiend's a little too heavy for him to do the jackhammer. It was a suplex. It was a big suplex. That's it.
It looked more like a brain buster with the way he put him, because it wasn't even a full suplex. It was bad for some reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we were just talking about Mania, though. I want to hear your thoughts on Night 1. Since Night 2 is tonight, I'm actually very excited about Night 2. Night 1 was a stacked card to me, but I also felt that it went by a little bit too quick. I don't know if you felt that way too. I feel like it just started, honestly.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I knew they were going to split up everything between the two nights and everything, but it's like, it seemed like a lot of the matches was like bam, 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 and like all of a sudden, I'm in Texas and everything, so it's like all of a sudden I know it's like a lot of the matches went by. It's 8-something, and we only have 2 matches left.
Yeah.
Like, what happened here?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually texting one of my friends, and it was like 9-something. I was like, bro, there's only 2 matches left. Like, what? Like, the pay-per-view ended at like 10. I was like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm surprised. Like, okay, so I do like the fact that they didn't put 35 matches all in one pay-per-view. I do like that. But I don't know. It felt kind of like run down to me. I don't know why. There was just something about it that felt really short to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, it did and everything. It's kind of like a good thing, bad thing and everything, because this actually would be something for WWE to consider going forward, kind of splitting WrestleMania up into 2 nights.
Yes.
Because let's take last year's WrestleMania, for example. It was like a 6-hour show. So by the time you get to the main event, this historic main event, the crowd was tired. They were died down. It was New York, so it was after 1 a.m.
I know, believe me, I'm there.
Oh yes. Yeah, and so I mean, so it's kind of like a catch-22 and everything.
Yeah, it's like I was excited for the main event last year. I really was, because like I think we all deep down knew Becky was gonna win. But I think, the finish, say what you will, but either way, it was a historic moment, and I'm glad that the women finally got their main event moment. They're definitely gonna get more main events to come, and it'll probably just solidify it, so that'll be fine. Now, as for the matches last night, what did you take away from, like, what was your favorite, and then what was, I guess, your least favorite match of the night?
Let's see. Well, the favorite, hands down, the Boneyard match.
Oh my God, that was crazy. I think we can, you know what? We can actually talk about that right after this, because I actually have some questions for you, considering you're a wrestling fan, and I heard a lot of people on Twitter, especially, just dogging it for some honestly unknown reason.
But I have no idea why. So, okay, so yeah, hands down the Boneyard match.
Okay.
The shocker of the night, I would say, I mean, I don't know if I have like the least favorite, I would say, is only because of the result.
Okay.
Was the ladder match.
Because
because it's like the ladder match itself was awesome.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great and everything. It's just kind of like a sneaky-ish way to win and everything. And I mean, I was really rooting for the Usos to tie up their reigns with the New Day and everything, to kind of set us towards like I still want another epic showdown between those two. New Day and
Usos, yep. Their matches are always great.
Oh yeah, definitely. Then if I had to say another one was my least favorite, I would say Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn and everything, only because it's like Sammy's a character on its own, and he was like doing the heelish thing, like backing out, backing in, and everything like that.
Yep.
And I would have more respect for him winning as a champion and everything if he didn't have his two sidekicks.
Yeah,
out there with him.
Yeah, I understand, especially where you're coming from. If I had to pick a least favorite match, I mean, I get the, you know, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross winning. I actually predicted the Kabuki Warriors winning because I felt like they were gonna start doing an Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross like feud, because I didn't see them winning after Mania because I just felt they weren't gonna win. If I had to pick a match, like, you know what? Because I actually have another segment later about it, but we can talk about this part now.
Okay.
So I think this WrestleMania in particular was filled with a lot of filler matches. There's a lot of matches on here that I felt like I'm watching, honestly, an episode of Raw. Like the match that's actually going to happen tonight, which was Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. Now, I mean, maybe I just didn't watch everything, but I didn't really see any build up towards this.
There's a reason why. From what I read and everything, and it's like I kind of told my podcast partners this and everything. There was supposed to be some kind of build up towards this match, but what happened was that Bobby Lashley was actually in Africa doing promotion for a future tour there with WWE, and by the time he came back, and this is what I heard. So, and by the time he came back, all the COVID-19 concerns were in place and everything. Wow. So he was actually in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Now that's actually something I didn't know. Well, there you go, guys. You learn something new every day. Because I didn't. You know what? Honestly, to me, like I would have, like I loved, like I'm a big Buddy Murphy fan. Now, if I would have saw like a Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black match at Mania, like that would have been great. That would have been another one.
Because like even though Buddy Murphy's lost every one of them and everything, the matches themselves have been excellent.
And I don't know if you did Seth Rollins just totally forget that he has Buddy Murphy? I mean, I get that the AOP, like one of them is injured again, unfortunately, but then like I feel like Buddy Murphy's not even around anymore. You know what I mean?
I think they sent him home. Because he was either sick or in quarantine or something to that effect. But he actually, if I remember correctly, they actually sent him home.
Wow. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think obviously the whole thing that's going on is very unfortunate, and you know, it's really taking a toll on not just, you know, WWE but the world in general. It's a big tragic thing.
Definitely, yeah.
So. Now, since we talked about it before, now let's talk about probably the biggest surprise out of, you know, all of WrestleMania Night 1, the Boneyard match. Now, personally, I'll get my thoughts out of the way because I want to go in depth with yours and really talk about what you think.
Go ahead.
I thought it was great. And now, I was very skeptical at first because obviously, you know, The Undertaker's not a young gun anymore. But and when I saw the American Badass go, like, that's the one thing I was waiting for years and years to come. Because, like, I've always felt like the American Badass was his best character, and I know the Dead Man has, you know, he has many accolades and stuff like that, but just to me personally, I thought, you know, the Badass was the best, and to see him ride in on a motorcycle with, like, Metallica playing for some reason, I thought it was great. But, yeah, so that was my thoughts. I thought it was great. I don't really understand the criticism, because wrestling is supposed to be cheesy and funny, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
If there was any kind of explanation as far as like this is the like things happen for a reason, this would kind of fall into place with that, because it's like with them having to shift WrestleMania and the way that they had to pre-tape everything, this is a match that worked out in his favor with that. Definitely. Because they were able to take it to a location. And I even tweeted out about this. I was like, why does this remind me of Thriller?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can see that.
But it's like the complete setup with AJ coming in with the hearse, or I thought it was Taker at first.
Me too, and I was very upset. I was like, no.
That's like SOB and everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and I really didn't watch Mania or wrestling back in the day with the American Badass character. So these last few weeks with Taker, and it's kind of like got me a little implemented into that and everything. So him with a motorcycle, and I'm a rock girl, so Metallica is that was definitely feel to it and everything. But with the way that they filmed it out, the trash talking between them two, and the whole thing was just like genius. It was like cinematic genius. It was wrestling genius, and it was like I don't understand the criticism either.
Mm-mm.
Because it's like, if this was actually a live match, they would have had to do it at the stadium somehow, and that would have been cheesy as hell.
Definitely. Like, I didn't want to see fake graveyards and stuff like that. Like, I wanted to see, like, the way they pulled it off good. It was like, there was certain moments that I was like, this is wild. Like, when Gallows and Anderson, like, called their druids, I was like, yo, what's happening? Like, I felt like I was watching, like, people compared it to the deletion. What was it? The Ultimate Deletion with the Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I could see that. Yeah, like, it's kind of like that. Yeah, I thought it was very fun. And I thought it was great. And now, I really hope the American Badass is back. Like, I really do, because I don't know. And I'm also curious what they're gonna do with AJ now.
They may have to keep him off for a couple weeks to just kind of like let this die down and everything like that. And another thing with the match, it was like came off so well and everything.
Yeah.
I think Becky Lynch says she wants a boneyard match, and Mick Foley is like tweeting out to Vince, like going, "Can I please be in next year's boneyard match?" Yeah. Even though medically with him,
stay away. Yeah, but, it was great. Like, I had a lot of fun watching that.
Yeah, and that was the perfect way to cap off night one, because it's like, if we had that match and then the Goldberg and Braun match, it would not have worked.
Definitely not. I would have been on a high, and then, like, right when I saw that. And speaking of that Goldberg match, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a mini heart attack, because I actually thought they were gonna do it. Because there was times when he speared him, like, what was it, 3 times in a row? I was like, no. I was tweeting as it was going on. I was like, bro, what are you guys doing? And then I was about to, like, press send, and then, like, he kicked out, and then he picked him up. I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was so nervous.
I know, so was I, because I'm like going, please tell me this is not happening, that Goldberg's actually going to walk away with the title. And then, Braun kicked out. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was very excited that Braun finally got his moment, and unfortunately it was against Goldberg, because I think that and unfortunately it was during these circumstances, because I don't know, because if Roman never backed out due to his health reasons, I don't think Braun was even on the card, right?
No.
Wow. And they didn't have the Royal Rumble this year, like the Battle Royal, for obvious reasons, which is that's crazy. But yeah, that's crazy. Braun wasn't even on the card. Wow. No. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I personally think Braun should have won when he versed Brock back in the day, but that's just my opinion.
No, definitely. I totally agree. This was long overdue for him. And yeah, it was kind of like a substitute championship type thing. But it's been long overdue, no matter how long he keeps it, if it's like a month or two or whatever thing like that. This has been long overdue.
Yeah, at least he has his Mania moment besides, the winning the Battle Royal last year, I believe, right? Yeah. So, at least he got his moment. Yeah. So, now, tonight is WrestleMania Day 2. Yes. I'm personally, like I said before, I'm very excited. What do you think, what do you honestly think is going to happen, and do you think it's going to be better than the first night? And then maybe talk about what match you're most excited for.
A lot of the heavy matches are going to be on night 2. So I think it's going to have like a different feel to it.
Okay.
And then as far as like, excuse me, sorry.
No, it's okay.
As far as like what matches I'm looking forward to, the Edge and Orton, excuse me 1 second, I'm sorry.
No problem. Technical difficulties, everybody. Don't worry, but we'll be right back.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so Edge and Orton for sure. The SmackDown 5-way, I'm looking forward to that, because either way this comes out and everything, it's going to set up Bayley and Sasha one-on-one down the line.
Okay.
And then I'm looking forward to what's going to be the main event tonight, being Drew and Brock. And yes, I would have loved to have had this in a stadium with 80,000 people because he so deserved that and everything. But either way,
100%.
Drew is finally having his time. He is finally having his moment. And I swear, if Brock ends up with a title somehow, I'm going to be on my computer writing a very nasty article for because with I'm a writer with Belly Up and everything, so it's like
Yep.
I'm gonna be writing a very nasty article in response to it. Guaranteed.
I just, as you were saying that, I remembered the Triple H video where it's like, I'm gonna tweet my displeasure. Like, I remember that. So yeah, definitely. Like, I've always been a big Drew McIntyre fan, even back in the day when he was like, the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
I really and honestly believe that this is his moment, and it's crazy to me that we even have to have this conversation because it's come to a point where WWE has done this before, where I think it was like 2 years ago when they were in New Orleans, when we all I think all of us thought Roman was gonna win.
Yeah.
And then he ended up like busting him open, and then Brock winning, and I was just shocked. Like, what? Like what? Like, this is crazy. So I'm very scared that WWE is gonna do this again. Cause I don't know about you, but I was also shocked that Shayna lost to Becky.
That was the shocker of the night because it's like I even screamed out a little bit, like, what?
Yeah, like Shayna basically took over the women's division just for her to lose to Becky with a roll up. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like she had her in the choke, and then it was like a roll up pin. I thought that was very strange. I'm shocked that it happened, but I'm gonna be even more shocked if somehow Brock retains tonight after all this hype around McIntyre winning the championship.
Twitter's gonna blow up.
Twitter will blow up, and I will be there for it along with them. I'm going to tweet my displeasure. I'll be very upset because I don't know if you probably did post your predictions. Now, I predicted that Edge was going to win.
Me too.
But if somehow WWE books Randy to win, and then maybe they'll continue this feud again, which, I mean, I've been loving it, so maybe if Randy does win and then Edge and Randy keep going, I wouldn't mind having that. So if Randy wins and having like that big heel win, and then I feel like the Fiend's gonna win as well. Yeah. And then if Brock wins, 3 big heels winning, that's just gonna be horrible. So I want them to finish on a very good high note.
No, definitely. I didn't tweet out my predictions. We did them on it was like on last week's podcast episode of our podcast, Queen's Takeover.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I definitely predicted Drew to win. As much as I'm a Cena fan, I mean, he's basically going to be putting over Fiend in this match.
Definitely.
And I'm definitely, it's like I definitely predicted Edge to win. But I can definitely see your point there about Orton, so this can continue.
Now, just like you, I'm a big John Cena fan. He was one of my favorites growing up. Now, what do you think's going to happen with this Firefly Funhouse? I'm really hoping it's not like that House of Horrors match we got a couple years ago, because that was very strange.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I love this Bray Wyatt character. I think it's great.
No, I mean, I think it may be like kind of on the lines of House of Horrors, but it's like more. Since it's a fun house, it might definitely be like let's see, Pee-wee's Playhouse / haunted house ish type thing, maybe.
Okay.
But and can we say how many lives does Rambling Rabbit actually have?
Yeah. How many times did he die now? 3 or something like that. Like, I don't get it. But listen, I don't know about you, but I love those Firefly Funhouse segments where he's just he's talking, like, it's just, I think they're so great. When the first episode of Raw that he debuted, like, with that character, I was like, yo, this is wild, but I love it because it's like creepy kind of thing. I just thought the whole thing, like, I thought everything was good. And then we also have the Charlotte Rhea Ripley match tonight.
Yes, that one is. This is another one that I really wish would be taking place in the stadium and everything because of the historic nature of this.
Yes.
But either way, this is a big moment for NXT in general. This is a big moment for Rhea Ripley, and this match is going to be like this is going to be a knockdown one.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely predicted Rhea to win on this.
Yeah, I also predicted Rhea as well. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a big Charlotte Flair fan. I personally, just because of her, like, the great matches she had, I think she's, like, in my mind, I don't know about yours, but I think she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Now, you have Trish and Lita, and then you have people back in the day, but I just think with the amount of matches, the great matches she's put on, the titles she's won, and moments she's had, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people don't really agree, and that's fine. That's, you're entitled to your own opinion. But to me, I think that's definitely my top pick.
She's definitely up there for me. I've kind of been a little back and forth on her in her career and everything because a lot of the title reigns that she's got have been like at the very craziest times, especially since like one in particular that she won the SmackDown Women's title from Asuka like 2 weeks or so before the main event at WrestleMania, and then that ended up being like a winner take all.
Yeah.
That honestly really wasn't necessary. I mean, I can understand why they did it to kind of build it up even more and everything.
Yep.
But it didn't need to be a title match. The title really should have stayed on Asuka that year going into WrestleMania. Actually, this was just last year. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But the title really should have stayed on Asuka because it's like we were all hoping that she would have that WrestleMania moment of hers, and WWE threw a curveball.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I would have been okay with a Fatal 4-Way. Like, can you imagine Rousey, Becky, Charlotte, and Asuka in one main event? Like, and then you could have had Becky win. Oh my god! Now, granted, the finish would have been a lot differently, I believe.
Yeah,
but still, like, I would have had Rousey obviously still take the pinfall, because don't let Asuka lose, don't have Charlotte lose, let Rousey lose, and then she goes away like she did. I think that would have been perfect. That's probably how I would have done it. Because what did Asuka end up doing that year? Did she win the Battle Royal? No, she didn't. Right? I don't think she had anything.
I don't think she. Yeah, I don't remember her having anything last year.
Wow, that's unfortunate. You see, it's stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. I think also WWE focuses too much on the main players, not really like they're hiring all these and signing all these women and men, but unfortunately, they don't really do anything with them.
Yeah. I mean, definitely because one thing that kind of sticks out to play is with Cain Velasquez when he came in, because it's like Brock. I even wrote about this how much this pissed me off, honestly, with how big they screwed over Kofi Kingston and having Brock just like snatch the title like that, and it was all to start this big thing with Cain Velasquez. That didn't last very long. They signed Cain Velasquez having knee issues and everything, and since that Crown Jewel, we really haven't seen him.
To thank God. I mean, I think I don't know how many times I can stress this, but I truly believe that WWE. Now you see with Gronk also. I think WWE needs to stop hiring all these athletes and people that haven't really been training years and years to be a professional wrestler, that just feel like, hey, I'll give it a shot. Like now, granted, the thing that happened with Rousey, that match that she had, the tag team match at Mania, I was very impressed. I thought she did great. For what it was, I thought she was really good at that. But then people like Kane and like when they built all this up for when Brock lost in the UFC, the Cain Velasquez Brock Lesnar match ended like what, a couple minutes. I don't get it. Like, I get that Kane isn't the most experienced and Brock doesn't like to work 10-minute plus matches, but I mean, come on. I don't think they should also be getting title matches as soon as they come into the company. But again, that's really to deaf ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that just kind of like irritated the hell out of me with that, and it also kind of irritated me too with as far as like because I originally thought that Shayna was going to win the Rumble to set up the match with Becky at WrestleMania, even though I really didn't think it was absolutely necessary. Yeah, but it's like Shayna just coming. I mean, yes, she dominated NXT. She's a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. And she dominated down there, but it's like she's getting her first taste of like the main shows. I can't really say like main roster now, but it's like she's getting her first taste of Raw, and her first WrestleMania is a title match, and in my honest opinion, that could have waited.
Definitely.
That should have waited, because it's like you have women on the roster on SmackDown and Raw and everything who've never had a WrestleMania title match.
Absolutely. Like, and I mean, I'm not really gonna say no offense, because she hasn't really done anything, but tonight, I mean, honestly, do you really think Tamina should be in this Fatal 5-Way?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't get it. Lacey, I understand. Naomi, I understand. Sasha and Bailey, obviously. But I mean, you couldn't throw somebody else in there. Like, look what, like, last year Carmella won the women's battle royal. Like, she couldn't be in this. You know what I mean? Like, somebody like that. Like, even, I don't know. I mean, there's rumors going around that Nia Jax may be back tonight, and maybe she'll, like, come out and do something. I mean, I guess, but I mean, I personally don't think Tamina should have been in this.
Dana Brooke deserved to be in it anymore. She wasn't it, but of course she had to be pulled and everything. But it's like, as far as like who deserved to be in it more, it's like I would have put Dana Brooke over Tamina as far as like the deserving factor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even Ruby Riott. Like, what happened with her? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what WWE's doing, but listen, they're a multi-million-dollar company, so they could do what they want. Okay. Unfortunately, yes. Now, another quick thing. Honestly, like, this is probably like, before we get into like the final segment of the show.
Okay.
Another thing is I don't know if you've been keeping up with the whole Otis and Dolph Ziggler.
Oh God.
So at first I was very skeptical. I was like, I don't know. But then Otis has grown on me so much. Like, he's like one of my favorite things on SmackDown now. Like, he's just so funny to me. So, what do you think of the whole blow off at Mania? Hopefully.
Oh wow. This story has taken like so many turns. It's like somebody put it to it as like Beauty and the Beast with Otis and Mandy. And how this went sideways with Dolph has been like crazy. And on SmackDown, they finally revealed like the whole story behind it. And so tonight is going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. And I'm definitely rooting for Otis 1,000%.
100%.
And it's like with how the truth came out on Friday, thanks to, I know they haven't said it yet, but I know it's Ali. I know it's Mustafa.
I feel like it's Ali too. I really do. Because I saw the blue circle. The blue circle, right? That's what. Yeah. So let's hope, because again, he's also one who deserves a big moment. He's a great wrestler that's not really getting the recognition he deserves, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this tonight. So it's like Otis finally gets his hands on Dolph.
Yep.
And it's like, if he doesn't win, this is going to be that would be truly disappointing.
That would be tragic. And then, you know what, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, this is what I think might happen. And it's not going to be a good ending. I feel like Dolph's going to win. And then at the next pay-per-view, it's going to be Mandy and Otis versus Sonya and Dolph. Oh my God. And then Tucker's to the back doing something else. Like, that's what I feel it's going to happen.
Wow. That's a good twist.
That'd be kind of crazy now that I'm thinking about it. Because then at the end, like, Otis gets his moment, but it doesn't happen at Mania. Well, let's see what happens now. Now I'm curious. Well, you guys heard it here first. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So here's the last segment. This is something that I'm actually really curious, because we've been picking your brain all show. So if you look forward to something in the WWE, right? If you want something in WWE to happen, maybe this year, next year, but something in the future, what would you want to happen?
Overall, or as far as like matches? Or...
Well, okay, so let's break this down. If you could see one match in WWE in the future that you want to see, we'll start off with that. What match would you really want to see, and maybe give like a little backstory of maybe why?
Okay, I just mentioned this yesterday on a podcast. As far as like a dream matchup, is actually a matchup that should have happened last year and that it didn't. In the beginning of the year, going back to Mustafa Ali was in a main setting to be pushed. He got a spot in the Elimination Chamber match, and then he got injured, and so he got replaced with Kofi, and then Kofi Mania blew up. In my mind, I tweeted this out, I wrote about this and everything. One title match that should have happened and never did was Kofi and Mustafa Ali.
Now that would be a match.
And so, even though Kofi doesn't have the title anymore, there can definitely become some kind of segue to get these two back in the ring together, and Ali like kind of step up to Kofi because my podcast partner kind of brought this up yesterday as well, that there could be some kind of segue with Ali stepping up to Kofi saying, "I'm better than you. You only got this title spot because I got injured. Mm-hmm. Let's prove it." Bam. So if I could see one match still happen and everything, title or not and everything, it would be Kofi Kingston, Mustafa Ali.
Wow, that would be a great match, and that's something that, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, now that Braun is the champion, I don't see it fighting for a title, but I can maybe give him the U.S. title, give him an IC title, give him something. Like, I would love to see them fight over a title. That'd be great. Maybe Mustafa can beat Sami Zayn now, because I heard Daniel Bryan's going to take some time off. Yeah. So let Mustafa beat Sami and then have that great Kofi Kingston, Mustafa match. That'd be great. I would love to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
So now WWE is made of WWE is made of moments. Now, is there one like particular moment? It could be a woman, it could be a man, it could be anything you want. Like, if you want to see one moment in WWE, what would it be?
It would be starting tonight.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. One superstar who has been very, I would say, underutilized as far as like the title picture is concerned has been Sasha. Yes, she is a 4-time women's champion. Yes, she was one of the inaugural tag team champions. But with her 4 title reigns on Raw, it's less than 100 days.
Yes, which is very tragic. I don't know how that happened.
Extremely tragic. So one moment I would love to see to happen, and I hope WWE does come through with this finally, is for her to win tonight, have her WrestleMania moment, have the title going into SummerSlam, which is in Boston. Fingers crossed it still happens. Which is in Boston, her hometown, and she wins there to keep the title. She deserves a long, healthy title reign. No, lose it on the first title defense or keep it for a week and lose it and stuff like that. No, she does not deserve that. It has been long overdue, and it's like she's been like kind of like a in-betweener with the titles and everything like that. No, it needs to stop, and it needs to stop starting tonight. Yeah.
Now, who did you pick for the did you pick Sasha winning the title tonight?
It's like I do see her winning. That's my first choice.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, then Bayley would retain and set up her and Sasha eventually at SummerSlam.
That, yeah.
But my main choice would be to have Sasha win tonight.
Yeah, that's basically how I saw it. Like, I kind of see it maybe happening where, Sasha and Bayley work as a team, and then like towards the end Sasha does the work, and then Bayley either rolls her up for a win or just takes advantage of it. And then I mean, we've seen a Bayley Sasha rivalry in the past. The one in NXT was amazing. Probably one of the best women's matches I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Maybe something on a bigger scale, like for a SmackDown Women's Championship, would be great. I would love to see that, and hopefully WWE, builds a better story, because it's usually about jealousy. Like, I just want to see something great. Like, I want to see just two people who just don't like each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I would love to see. Yeah.
And it's like they had like a little bit of hinting like with the rivalry, like here and there, as far as like with them being on Raw and everything, but it hasn't really like played out to fruition. And so even when Paige announced the 6-pack challenge, it's like Sasha had that little smirk on her face that it's like,
something's gonna happen. Yeah,
exactly.
I could definitely see that. So I really appreciate you being on the show. Again, congratulations for winning the wrestling bracket. And I'm also I'm here to announce that I will be hosting another wrestling tournament bracket very, very soon. And I announced that it's going to be a wrestling faction and stables. So I announced 32 faction stables. I will probably be putting out the bracket within the next or the announcement within the next couple weeks, because I want to give it time after Mania and stuff like that. So just like I said before, it's going to be another 32. So everybody who's listening here, I want you guys to be a part of it as well. But for right now, Kat, if you want to plug all your social media, all the things you do every day, please do that.
Well, I am a writer for Belly Up Wrestling, for Belly Up Sports, and mainly for the wrestling department, but I do dabble with other sports because I'm a sports fanatic in general. I do handle the Twitter page for Belly Up Wrestling, and you can catch me every week. I'm 1/3 of the host for Queen's Takeover podcast. It's the women of Belly Up Wrestling, my partners, Kayla and Jolie, and it's like the three, it's like we just definitely just get together every week and just talk about the current events of wrestling, and just three women just speaking their mind about wrestling. It's like awesome to hear. So definitely check us out.
And I will definitely put the links to all those social media links and the podcast in the description below if you guys definitely should go check that out. So, Kat, I want to thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. This has been awesome.
I appreciate that. So, guys, if you did like this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see all of you next time.